Okay, Danny, here's my second video for you. I'm going to use an assortment of ships, kind of like I said. This event unfortunately forces me to use Ackbar, so I can't show you what it would be like with Mace, but essentially it's the same thing, just I'm not going to be able to spam Mace's area of effect. I'll try to make another one another time for that. So here we are, and I'm just going to go ahead and start it up. Loading. Reminds me of Uprising. Android takes forever. Okay, this one here is actually a pretty easy one that we're doing. So the main the main ship in here that you want to take out is, of course, the Scimitar because of his retribution ability. So you can see that the main TIE fighter has a chance to inflict target lock. So that's what we're trying to do, is target lock as many enemy ships as we can. So I'll pretend I'm using Mace. And boom, that makes Biggs taunt. Now, if Biggs himself crits, he inflicts target lock, but if we already have one enemy target locked, like the Scimitar, then Biggs's better use is the Academy maneuver, because he calls an ally to assist. So we'll go ahead and do that. Does lots of fun damage. The second one you should be taking out is the First Order TIE Fighter. And I'm going to use the First Order TIE Fighter here, and it has the chance to attack twice and inflict target lock. And it didn't do it that time. That's okay. Now, with Ackbar, because I have two ships that have buffs, the best thing to do would be the Defiant Volley, because he calls up to two buffed allies. And I'm not going to target the Scimitar because this does damage to all enemies, and it does call these others. So I'm going to hit this First Order TIE Fighter with this. And that got rid of the Scimitar for us. Now, the Umbaran Starfighter 5s, his best one is the Umbaran Missile Pods. Because it does inflict target lock on a target enemy, and it cannot be resisted. But it's better to use when you have multiple ships target locked, kind of like Mace, because it does damage to each one that has target lock, and it deals extra damage for each one that is target locked. But as circumstances would have it, we don't have those target locks engaged, so I'm just going to hit this TIE Fighter with that. Target lock, and of course Biggs taunts. Now I'm going to go ahead and just hit this TIE Fighter over here, and I'm going to normally I would call it Biggs in this case to make sure that his protection stays up, but because it's already up pretty good right now, I'm going to call on the First Order TIE Fighter as my assist, because it has that chance of attacking twice and doing the target lock with that. And if I target lock, of course, Biggs's protection is refreshed. So I'll go ahead and do this guarded assault with the First Order TIE Fighter. Again, it failed, but that's okay. So we'll just go ahead and hit this one, try to target lock him as well. Aha! And Biggs's protection was refreshed. Now, the good... one of the other good things about the normal TIE Fighter is the fact that he can hit buff immunity if something's already target locked. If there's an enemy Biggs and you've target locked him, this is wonderful, because that prevents the enemy Biggs from taunting. And it also does pretty good damage, and it gains the TIE Fighter foresight. So we'll just go ahead and hit this guy. Now, Biggs occasionally can, like I said, inflict target lock, but he would have there. And in fact, he did before the guy died. Now, the Umbaran, of course, if something is target locked, it dispels all buffs on the target, but none of these guys have buffs. The bad thing about the Umbaran is that it does... that whenever it attacks, it gains 15% turn meter, but the target also gains turn meter. So it's best to use this to attack someone with fives who is already at 75% turn meter or better. Or if you can't, just, whoever's going to die. Hopefully this guy. Nope, didn't kill him. And it made him basically attack immediately. So I'm just going to go ahead and kill this TIE Fighter here. And of course I'm blocked, so we'll just go ahead and kill that one. This ability here, it says Strafe cooldown is refreshed and deal physical damage to target enemy. To me, it's kind of useless because, Strafe cooldown is refreshed, but whoop-de-doo, because if you're using his other one, he still has a chance to attack twice. So, and to do target lock. So I'm not sure why Strafe's even there. Didn't target lock again, but that's okay. Ooh, Slave 1. And that target lock, that TIE Fighter again, refreshing Biggs's taunt and his protection. Just like that did. And normally, if Biggs had been hurt real bad or something, you can use Jedi Counselor's ability Stabilize to recover Biggs's protection. Now, even though he's not Republic, it still works pretty well with Biggs because he refreshes protection with the target locks. And poof, be gone. They're dead.